cannot obey God. I cannot give you God. The preacher who cannot do what God said will not be able to give people what God said.
Yeah.
He can preach a good word, but he can't give the people what God said. And if a preacher is under depression, we need to find out where is the open door. If I'm doing my own thing, then I have a tendency to fail. And not having 1,000 people around you does not mean you're not successful. Sitting down in your own house by yourself does not mean you are alone. You will never feel lonely if you know how to worship God in spirit and in truth.
Amen. Keep you sane.
Let me say that again. You will never feel alone or lonely if you learn the secret of worshiping God in spirit and in truth. If you learn the secret of praying in the Holy Ghost and letting your life be about God, not about you or anybody around you. Because what gets us into trouble is, what will they be saying? That I, as big as I am, this is what is going on around me. And you never knew when God is putting you in the cooler. You never knew when God is putting you somewhere to sit down so that he can finish what he's doing, so that by the time you come out from waiting upon him, you are going to be what they call a good, successful leader. Because God never do anything without having a reason. He has a reason for everything that he does. And if you have surrendered yourself totally to him and said, Lord, I belongs to you. I don't belongs to me. I've tried me. I don't walk. I belongs to you. Lord, you are able to take care of what belongs to you. Say it with me. Lord, you are able to take care of what belongs to you. Say it this way. Say, Lord, I belongs to you.
I belong to you.
And I know you are able to take care of what belongs to you.
I know you're able to take care of what
Say it one more time. Lord, I belongs to you.
Lord, I belong to you.
And I know that you are able to take care of what belongs to you.
To take care of what belongs to you.
It is very, very important for us to really know who we belongs to. Because if I am obeying the man, the instruction, I was looking at what the brother was, testimony that the brother was giving to us. And I find out that what actually happened is that they have a strategy that all of them has decided. And they have the, what do you call the menu, the ingredients for the menu that they are going to. And they follow after that measurement of the ingredients, and it worked for them. But yet, they do not have as much people as that they wanted to have. They have not get to the place where they're supposed to get to. But if one of them is going in a different direction, what's going to happen is the rest of them may not even be able to fulfill the function that one of them is supposed to fulfill. I am aware that when God sent me to Delaware, I'm not the only one that He sent. I am aware that when God sent people to Delaware, I'm not the only one that went through and stand with God. I am so much aware that every time that God wanted to do something, He always tried to squeeze His own people to the end of themselves. Squeeze them to the end of themselves. Because if you never get to the end of you, you will never have the fullness of God. You can be having a little bit of God here, a little bit of God there, a little bit of God here, a little bit of God did. How many people will be surprised that hundreds of sheep that Moses was leading and directing in the way they should go, that he wanted them to go, was not enough, and God has to cut him loose from it, and God said, leave it alone. God said, leave those Jethro sheep alone and go and take over my sheep. God said to him, you the leader. You are the leader. You're not telling Jethro and the rest of the family of Jethro to leave Jethro's sheep alone. Whoever is behind you that is helping you to direct all those sheep, I'm not talking to them to leave it alone. But you, Moses, you leave that Jethro sheep alone. But God, this is where I get money to feed my family. This is my children's inheritances in this sheep. God said, leave Jethro's sheep alone and take care of my sheep. Oh, what a tough thing to do. And in the midst of that, he put him in a strait. But God, I'm going to face so much challenges in that place. Yes, that's what you wanted to do. Because if you never face challenges, you will never see the hand of God moving on your behalf, taking you out of the challenges. If you never have a situation that God will rescue you out, you will not have a testimony of Jesus Christ. Where the Bible tells us, Revelation 19:10, the testimony of Jesus Christ is the spirit of prophecy. Moses, if you never obey me and take care of my sheep, you will not know the way to gather your people, my people, out of their bondage. They are in bondage, but I want to release them from bondage.
Amen.
Pharaoh is spanking them. Pharaoh is beating them. Pharaoh is putting them down. Pharaoh is killing them. Pharaoh is putting disease in their life. Pharaoh, the devil, is troubling them. But Moses said, Daddy, I can't talk. Lord, I can't talk. Because he knew that whoever is on that other side of the fire is bigger than him. I can't talk. I can't do this. I can't do that. And God said, you got to do it. You got to do it. And what is so funny about that story was that he went to his wife and said, wife, I got to go. His wife said, you can't leave, you can't do that. No, he said, I got to go. I have to answer the call of God. Say it with me. I have to answer the call of God. Say it one more time. I have to answer the call of God. Because every excuse doesn't jam no more. None of the excuses accepted no more. I can't talk. Who owns the mouth? Who made the ears for you to hear? You who made the heart. But God, you understand. Those people, they wanted to kill me. I won't let them. Because I call you. But you don't understand. When I go there, they won't believe me. He said, I can make them to believe you. But what am I going to do with Pharaoh? He's so powerful. He's not more powerful than me. He's not going anywhere. Those excuses are not going anywhere. Then suddenly, God called Elisha. God told Elijah, said, go get Elisha. Go get Elisha for me because I needed him. And he did something like this for him. He did something like this for him. He was coming with his cloak, though it's always in his shoulder, but I'm doing it this way. And boom, he dropped it on him. And the guy said, wait, this has a meaning. This has a meaning. What is the meaning of this? God is calling me. So all along that I've been preparing the sheep and all that ready, God is calling me. I'm coming to something over here. So if God is calling me, what am I going to do?
Answer that call.
Then, men of God, please let me go back home and take care of and prepare myself. Men of God said, I didn't say nothing to you. I didn't say anything. Did I do anything to you? Oh no, you didn't do anything to me. Well, then you do what you gotta do. And the man that have an understanding of the call of God went home, told his family, God is calling me. And I have to answer the call of God. How are you going to do that? All these sheep and fatted cattle that you have over here and all this good stuff that is going. You remember, your sheep is being giving you more profit than anything. What are you going to do with that? How are you going to take care of your family? Your father is getting old now. How are you going to take care of your family? Went to the family and said, wait a minute. I can lay down. God is calling me. When I kill some of those fatted cows and have a party and said, just pray for me. I'm going after God. But that's not certain. He's not going to produce anything for you. My heart is made up. Somebody say, my heart is made up.
My heart is made up.
Say, I got to obey God.
I have to obey God.
Obey God.
It's very important when your heart is made up. And you find out the most important reason, the reason why many people do not do some things that we're supposed to do is because our heart is not totally made up. And God knew that, and God is not mad at it, because the level of your heart being made up is the level of the power of your inner man. If you have enough power on the inside of you, your heart is going to be made up totally for the Almighty. There will not be no schism. There will not be no... Was it this morning? I was in the shower, and the devil wanted me to doubt the call. Did God really call you attitude? Huh? And I said, no, I'm not doing that. If I never know the call of God in my life, then I have wasted all my life. Because I have spent more than half of my life with God. More than half of my life I have spent with God now. And if I have a doubt, it's just like Kenya telling me, I don't even know if that man is my daddy. I hear me. It's just like that. Kenya knew. And you know what your daddy God is. Huh? You know your daddy? Yeah? Get it? You lie. I'm your daddy. I was there. Are you getting what I'm saying now? It's just like the devil come lie to you and said, Remy is the one that gave birth to you. Ask your mama. You tell them, lying devil, shut up. Remy came from Africa. I came from Italy. Are you getting what we're talking about over here? So the devil have a particular way of bringing the deception to the people, and the pastors are dying. The pastors are drying up. The pastors are going through so much. Jesus. They call, God called them. But there was an open door of deception that they never see about how it came. And because of that, he began to affect their life in a negative way. And he built up some things in them until they themselves started building upon that which God did not build. And if you think you're right, you better lie. You're lying. Because you better stand up so that you don't fall into deception. Stand up. Because we are coming from somewhere, and where we're not coming, it is only the Holy Spirit that stands at the door of our life that stop us from fulfilling that which is of old, even in this new time. I am telling you, I get into test this week. And thank God I get in my car and say, God, not me. The devil is a lying devil. It's a lying devil. So do you just imagine that? If I do not obey God, when you need something from God and you are sitting down with me, guess what happened? We all just going to be looking at each other. We're all just going to be looking at each other and we'll be praying, and our prayer will not go beyond here. Our prayer will not go anywhere. Whereas God is calling us to a holy calling, so that when we have fulfilled that purpose, He'll be able to help us. But where do we when we begin to say, I have made up my mind, I have no doubt in my mind, I wanted to do the will of God. Where are we? Where are we? All right, let's go to the Bible. Let's see what happens to Abraham first. Then we're going to see the condition of the heart of a man, how strong it is. Let's go to Romans chapter 4 for 1 minute. Romans chapter 4. Somebody shout hallelujah.
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 Romans chapter 4. Let's just start from verse 16. Romans chapter 4. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Bible? Biblia. Bibeli. Sharina Kasiko Ladebro Nomo Kushide. Let's start from verse 13. In verse 13 it said, for the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of what?
Faith.
Is there anything that we can do without faith?
Nada.
Is there anything we can preach without faith?
Nada.
So now let's keep on looking at that faith over here. Because this faith is only strong according to the condition of the heart of a man. Where are you? Where is your heart? It's not in the brain. Because what we wanted to do, we wanted to make a suggestion for the work of God according to the knowledge of our brain, without consulting God and say, God, is this the way you wanted to do something for me? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, there are times that we have to make an impromptu decision right in there, and we're going to trust God that, God, you're going to help me with this. There are times like that.
Oh boy.
There are times like that. But there is a time that God is calling us to sit down somewhere. Just sit down. But we have our mind wandering into so many things. But our heart is stable. What we defeat the wandering of our mind is going to be the strength of our heart. Does that make any sense to anybody? The strength of my spirit is what to defeat the wandering of my mind. Let's keep going. Look at what it said. Verse 14. For if they which are of the law be his, faith is made void, and the promise is made of none in faith. Because the Lord walk right, for where no law is, there is no transgression. What I wanted to take note over here was that he made the opposite of the law, he made it faith. That means if you are not acting in faith, you are acting according to the law. If you are not acting in faith, you are acting according to the law. Let's put it in perspective. The problem that we have in many places and in many of our churches is acting according to the law. We're preaching a good message. Very good message. Somebody told me the other day that, well, it's just the word of God that they're preaching. Well, it's just the Bible. Wherever they're preaching the Bible, it's okay. I say, you don't know the Bible. Because if you know the Bible, you will know that it's not enough to preach the Bible. It's not enough to just preach the Bible. Because even from all the talk that I've done today, we can stop over there and go home and God honors it. Because we just talk to God. Alright? Because if I have to do it according to the Bible, I am not all my brain. I'm not going to be rambling like that. But when God talk, we listen. Say with me. When God talk,
When God
I
talks,
listen.
I listen.
So look at what it says. Verse 16. Therefore, it is of faith that it might be by grace to the end, and the promise might be sure to all the seed. Go to verse 17. As it is written, I have made you the fathers of many nations, before whom he believed, even God who quickened the dead, and called those things that what? Be not as though they have. I wrote something on to somebody on Facebook yesterday, and I said, don't ask me to explain. Because if I'm trying to explain it to you, I'll be explaining it with my mind. And it's just God who called those things that be not as though they were. It doesn't make any sense to the mind. But how can I just believe calling those things that be not as though they were? How can I believe it? Unless I got my mind made up. Unless my heart is made up to just trust God. If my mind is not made up, I'll be looking for, it gotta be there before I believe it. If I don't see it there, I don't believe it. But he said, I have to believe God who called those things that be not as though they were. Then if I'm going to do what God did, I also will do what? Call those things that be not as though they were. If it worked for God and I'm putting my trust in God, then it's going to work for me. Because it's not working today does not mean it's not working. Because I don't see it, I don't really see it. Well, could it be that I'm blind in the realm of the spirit?
Could be.
Could it be that I have not got my mind made up? Or could it be that it's already done? I just have to believe that it's done.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Huh? If by next week God multiply you and send somebody to give you some things that you've been asking him for. What about just somebody wake up in the middle of the night and God decide, just find a way to buy that boy a house. Just give him a house. Which has happened to me before. Renting and struggling with it in New Orleans. Before I complained before God, I went on my face. And God was troubling Janet's mind to give me a house. I didn't ask for a house. She called me and said, I want to make a bargain with you. God want me to give you this. God want me to give you this house. And it's going to be a bargain. You take care of it for 3 years and we talk after that. But I told my wife when you get in the car, that's not what God said. God told her, send the deed, pass the deed to Remy. And then 3 or 4 days later, she called me. I've told my boys to go clean the place up, to go make it look nice, to paint what needs to be painted inside. I can't do this no more. Let's go to the lawyer. I will transfer the deed to you. So just transfer it to my wife's name. Are you getting what I'm saying here? But I can sit down in the house where I was struggling to pay this little rent, and I was struggling, and I can be complaining and say, God, why my life? God, I don't hate this. God, I don't like it. God, I got to do something else. I got to improvise for you. Notwithstanding, it may not be the kind of promise house, but yet, what is it? It's a house.
Yeah.
You eat rent any day.
Ain't no
Yes,
rent.
it does.
And when I left, God said, sell it and put a couple of thousands in your pocket. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because the 1,000 that I put in your pocket, I needed it where you're going. Can we trust God?
Well, we can
Always.
trust God
Can we trust God?
every day.
Huh? It looks small. But yet, if we never learn to trust God in small things, we will never get to the place of the big thing.
Amen.
Let me say it again. If you never learn to make up our mind and trust God with all our heart, even in the time of a small thing, and thank Him for it, we will never get to the place of a big thing, because every other thing that comes to us is going to be small, small, small.
Gratitude.
Until we begin to be grateful to God and expect more from God. Don't you believe that what you have yesterday is not what He wanted for you today? You got little yesterday, He want more than yesterday for you today.
Praise God.
But our doubt make us to be thinking of what the devil is saying, and we are in agreement with him. My wife was watching a particular movie last night. When the woman was saying to the man, he said, wherever a house is built, that's where it stays. That's a curse to the man. He cursed that man with that word. Said nobody build a house and lay the foundation and pull that house and move it to the next place. That means, guys, you're not going anywhere. You're going to stay here and poor. You remember what I'm talking about? Are you getting what I'm saying here now? So God Himself, the way God do things, He wants us to move forward. He gave me $100 yesterday. I'm expecting $1,000 today. The next thing that God is going to give to me is going to be bigger than what I ever had. So instead of me focusing on what I have, I focus on what is given me. Are you getting what I'm saying here? Look at what it said. Look at what it said. This is very important. Verse 18. Verse 17, as it is written, I've made you fathers of many nations. I've made you. Not that I'm going to make you. I've made you. Not that I'm going to make you. I'm not going to make you a prophet. I have made you a prophet. I'm not going to make you a teacher. I've made you a teacher. Will you be teaching? Will you be my prophet? After all, I have made you. It's not that I will make you. Now I've made you the fathers of many nations. Abraham, before God that Abraham believed, even God who quickened the dead, who raised the dead, who quickened the dead, we saw it in Jesus Christ, who quickened the dead and called those things that be not as though they are. The Spirit that raised Jesus from the Spirit of God that raised Jesus from the grave is the same Spirit that called those things that be not. And it was. Look at what it said. It's a resurrection power. It's a resurrection power. Look at this. Who against hope believe in hope? Who contrary to hope believe in hope? How am I going to do it? There's no way. It doesn't look like it. I need a car. I don't have no money in the bank. I don't have no credit. I don't know who is going to help me. Kali Dakasa Kalandi. There's no hope. Nobody likes me. There's no hope. But if you have got your mind made up, If you believe the God that raised up the dead and called those things that be not as though they are, then you would believe hope when there is no hope. When it look as if the road is blocked, my back is against the wall, I need to believe that God is able to split the wall, make me pass through it, and seal it back again. I read a story of a man yesterday. This man was in a war many, many years ago. Those Second World War or something like that. The enemy was pursuing after him. And while the enemy was running after him, he ran into abandoned building. And he ran into a room in abandoned building and saw a table still standing. And he closed the door of that room, he couldn't lock it, and hide under the table. And when the enemy that was coming to look for him was coming, he would have been defeated in his own mind and come out and said, you got me. But he didn't do that because he didn't know what God did. Immediately he entered, God began to put a cobweb on that door. The cobweb covered the whole door before the enemy get in there. The enemy searched every room, we couldn't find him. But for them to go into that room, they said, one of the captains said, if there is a cobweb in this door like this, so thick like this, nobody will be able to enter it, and no cobweb can develop in 5 minutes after the guy get in there. Right. So they said, no, it's not here, let's go somewhere else. That's how the guy escaped death.
Wow. God is able.
Because while he was in there, he was asking God, help me. God, help me. God, help me. Jesus. Can we believe God?
Yes, we can.
Can we make up our mind and trust God?
Yes, we can.
I mean, that story gets me so much.
Faithful.
He gets me so much that if God in just 1 minute can win a cobweb to cover the whole door so that he can cover and prevent somebody who call upon his name for help. Just imagine. Just imagine. Huh? Just imagine.